both parties entered the marriage as virgins. I didn't say that's the only
Which
way that'll
makes
work
sense.
out.
Okay,
I
so
didn't
it
say
says there
I'm
is
still
no
talking.
strong
Shut
evidence
up.
that suggests.
Shut up.
You're no,
Shut
exactly.
up.
You do not talk
You
to
guys
women.
are getting
I'm
triggered
still
because we're
talking.
not virgins.
But if I were to say the same thing, you would say that's anti-women because apparently everything that comes out of my mouth is anti-women. How is that possible?
You said if you said the same thing that you wouldn't date a woman who's not at your level?
No,
No.
I'm saying that apparently everything that I've said in the hour and 18 minutes that we're on this podcast is anti-women. So you're saying things that I don't even disagree with, that there are a ton of men out there that these women don't like. The vast majority of men are completely sexless, alone. They don't get attention from women. How is that anti-women?
Well, we don't know those men. We don't talk to those men. So we don't know about that kind of, like, you don't have to understand because he has different
I gotta stop,
background.
man. I gotta stop asking. I gotta stop asking simple questions that require simple answers. Apparently, that's my mistake. I won't ever do that again.
I think what happened was when you said that a man and a woman, the only way for it to work out is if they're both virgins.
That's not what I said. I'm happy to clarify.
No, you did
Okay,
say
I said,
that.
no, I didn't. Because if you want to rewind it, we
they're
can.
virgins and they're
I
meant
said-
a relationship.
Honestly, like this.
Alex, I would like to hear what you say.
But that's not what I said.
That was it. If he said, if
that's not what I said.
If I misunderstood, I'm more than happy.
I'm happy to
hear it
clarify.
again.
I'm happy to clarify. Statistically, based on data, there's a study out there right now. You can look up the Teachman study. There's a bunch of different studies out there that will show you. There's at least one or two that'll show you that a predictor, the best predictor of a long-term successful marriage, the couples that have the highest chance of long-term success and the lowest odds of divorce are when both parties entered the marriage as virgins. I didn't say that's the only way that'll work out.
Okay,
I
so
didn't
it
say
says there
I'm
is
still
no
talking.
strong
Shut
evidence
up.
that suggests.
Shut up.
You're no,
Shut
exactly. You do not talk
You
to
guys
women.
are getting
I'm
triggered
still
because we're
talking.
not virgins. It doesn't mean
No,
it's
we're
not going to work
No,
out for
Alex.
us.
But do you understand? Do you understand? Like, if you would let, like, I can't get that point out because you all keep over talking to me.
But
All
you
we're
can't
talking
say
to me.
shut
All
up.
I'm
It's
saying, but I'm still
disrespectful.
talking. Do you understand?
It's just
Do you know how
statistic.
disrespectful it is to talk over somebody when they're talking? That's disrespectful. What I'm trying to say, like, Shetel's still on mute and she still can't help herself. Like, she's still screaming into a muted mic. Like, you're not saying anything. No one's listening to you. You're muted. I'm trying to say that all it is, statistically, those are the relationships that have the highest odds and the highest likelihood of working out and not ending in divorce. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
My
saying it's
mom
the
and dad
only
were
way.
makes-
I'm still
I still had
talking.
to work.
Oh my
Makes
God. Do you
sense.
see this? I'm still talking.
No,
to
I'm
all y'all.
telling you.
I'm still talking, but you're such in a rush to get your point in that I can't even finish my point.
Because
I never said that it's the only way for relationships to work out. I never said that the only reason that relationships work is when there's two virgins on going into a relationship or in a marriage. I've never said that ever. I'm just telling you statistically, that's the research that's been done on a couple of different studies. Do I think that's superbly realistic? No, probably not. But I'm saying that's statistics and that's research that's been done. That's all I'm saying.
That makes sense. My point was that I think that's what triggered the insecurity because obviously everybody in this group are not virgins. And so maybe that was triggering some, because
but
it's a statistic, but we're not.
But
so
you don't get mad. Like, you don't get mad for the sky for being blue and water for being wet. Why are you mad for statistics just being a statistic and a fact? That's all it is. It's not a judgment. It's not a moral call. Like, it's just statistic. It's just a stat. That's literally all it is. It's like because the sun can fit. It's like the moon weighs X amount of quintillion tons. Why would anybody be mad at that? It's just a fact.
Because those people have only known each other sexually. They're the only people who have ever been with each other. So there's nothing to compare it to. There's nothing.
That's part of it.
It's more of like a purity kind of thing.
It's part of it. It also has to do with the chemicals and the pair bonding that goes on when it comes to the oxytocin release. So think about it. We talked about this last night on the show. Think about it like any drug, like take caffeine, for example, or even alcohol. You have a certain tolerance that you build up to certain substances. Caffeine, for example, like there's some people out there that have been drinking caffeine since they were like 13 years old, and one cup of coffee might just completely like make somebody go nuts that doesn't drink it. And somebody else might need 20 cups of coffee to have that same effect. It's that exact same thing when it comes to the oxytocin and the chemical release in a woman's brain. For the most part, like that's why there's a big difference between the effects of the oxytocin and how attached a woman feels to the guy she lost her virginity to and the guy that she slept with that's maybe guy number 25 or 50 or whatever it is. Eventually, enough of that stimulus where it's like, okay, like sex is no big deal. And we don't even have to get into notch count discourse, but all of this stuff is just rooted and based in science. Like none of this stuff is anti-women. If anything, I say these things where I'm trying to help, where I'm trying to show women, they're like, oh, well, how come like I can't keep a guy around because he, once I give him sex, like he bounces. What's the problem? Well, and a lot of people will tell you, and a lot of people will tell women, oh, it's just them. Like the guys only just want sex. Like they're an asshole. They're pieces of shit. You're perfect, girl. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that you need to do differently. And it's like, maybe. Most likely not. Most likely there's probably some things that you could be doing that would make a guy want to stick around and make a guy want to date you and be with you. But anything that's like, hey, ladies, like maybe you're not all just perfect angels that are infallible, that never do anything wrong. That's anti-woman. When in any case, it's like, no, like honestly, I bring women on the show to try to tell them the truth. I have no reason to lie. I don't hate women. I'm not mad at women. I just say, hey, listen, like, if it's not working, maybe try something else. Maybe consider some different viewpoints. But like, do you see how now, like the stuff that I'm saying, I don't think sense like, oh yeah, like you're not yelling at me. So I'm thinking maybe you were just not talking because you don't want to yell at me, or maybe something I'm saying actually makes sense. But do you see how like when I can get my point out and I can actually explain it, we probably don't disagree on a whole lot.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.